Hi, welcome to session 8, Healing Broken Commitments. I will start with a quote of Napoleon Hill. He said a long time ago, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually produce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. That's what he said sometimes in the 1930s, I think. Why am I quoting this guy? Our reality is being generated by who we are in our thoughts and by the inner conversations that we forward into our life. And if those conversations, if those talking frames in our museum are taking over our lives and are telling us which way to go, what to choose, and what needs to be done next, our life doesn't quite turn the way we want to. The experience that we have when our commitment is broken in the front of our very eyes is unforgettable. We are designed to carry that broken commitment, to carry that wound in our life, no matter where we go. And I can't stop from admiring snow in April. I love nature, and I know that this has probably nothing to do with the video, but I just can't stop from noticing this beautiful landscape. It's just great. Let's keep going. So we carry those incomplete conversations with us, and we carry that inner voice that keeps telling us which path to choose. And that doesn't only apply to the specific situation that created it. It reproduces themselves anywhere in our life, in every single area of your life. And not only that, but it generates more and more situations of the same. So, going back to what Napoleon Hill said, imagine if we spend 30 minutes daily concentrating on the things we want to become and the person we want to become, everything that we create in our mind will eventually come out in the real life and will generate a new type of reality. Anyhow, not taking that kind of time for ourselves to pinpoint, to notice, and to heal the broken commitments that we've been for so long, makes the reality around us and the results and our performance, after all, be sourced by our incomplete events. To the universe, that sounds like begging for more of the same. If we are relaying an endless conversation about how not enough we are, how not loved we are, how not at peace we are, the universe would receive a prayer for more of just that. Can you see how the situations that we don't want will be the very ones that we attract? In this session, we will look at a few questions that if you answer authentically, truthfully, and if you're being straight to yourself, you have a great opportunity not only to end that conversation for you, but to put something in its place which will shift your reality and generate something brand new for yourself. What we're going to look at right now is what is that one sentence, what is that one action that if you would have spoken or taken at the time when your commitment was broken, would have placed you in a powerful place, in a place where the breakdown was not possible, the breakdown in which you live today. So our questions are going to be around, what is the stuff, what is the action, what is the communication that you would have rather done at the time when your commitment was broken in such a way that today's breakdown would not even exist. So let's go to these questions, and please take notes. And also take your sweet time to go through every single one of them and give yourselves honest answers. The first question is, what was your broken commitment? Really, what was it? Now that you have discovered what you have declared from the previous steps, you discovered your commitment, of course, you discovered the source of it. Take a look and say, what was your broken commitment? And again, I'm going to work on myself with my breakdown of not being a contribution. The commitment I have, in which the breakdown is even possible, the commitment I have is to be the source for people's love and for their peace and therefore for their joy. And being stopped at that moment, I made it where I cannot. There's this wall in between me and making people happy that I cannot climb and go over it. So I made it where I can be a contribution. So take a look at your examples. From some of our participants, we had one of the commitments was, I cannot support the people I love. So it was this guy that his most important wish, his most important purpose was to be able to sit his entire family at the table and pay or support every single one of them for the food that they will eat or for the drinks. And he came to me and he said, this is my dream, Marius. I really want to be able to be at that table and just pay for everybody and not worry about money. And he was interrupted in that commitment. And what he made up is, I can't support the dear ones. Some other participants had the commitment of not being loved. There was a communication that was not delivered in time. Someone has done a good deed. This girl took an action, and she was just not acknowledged for taking that action by her mom. What she made up is, good things don't get noticed. And she made up that I don't make a difference. I do not deserve love. So take a few minutes for yourselves. Go through the first question and see what comes up for you. And again, take your sweet time. Go to as much time as you need. The second question is, what broke your commitment? And again, your commitment can be broken in a few different ways. It can be a communication that was not delivered, or was not delivered the way you expected it to be delivered. It could be an action that was taken, or just an event that happened around you. Or it can just be a circumstance. It can come from anywhere. In my case, what broke my commitment is being punished for playing with kids, and being punished for taking money out of my mother's pocket when she was actually putting the money there for me to buy sweets for myself. So that's what broke my commitment, is someone jumping in between me and my purpose. But really, if I look on the other side of it, is me assuming responsibility over whatever my grandma said about me, which is, you're a thief and a liar. So that broke my commitment. And in the second, when I declared that as being reality for me, as being the truth, I am a thief and a liar, that's when my commitment got severed, got chopped, destroyed. Again, take a look for yourselves and see what is that broke that commitment. What specific action, what specific communication that was or was not there? What specific circumstance or event? Who has done it? The third question is, what did you make it mean for yourself? Because that's where, remember that gap of meaning? That's where it occurs. That's where there's a landslide between the normal path of life and the moment where we decide the meaning is this rather than this. I'm not loved versus, oh, I'm fully loved by my mom, my family, my friends, or whatever that is for you. So in my commitment of being of contribution, what I made it mean for myself at the time is there's nothing valuable that I have that I can put in someone else's life in a way where they will just receive added value, like we would say in our days. But at the time as a kid, I was thinking more of, I cannot make people feel good. I just can't be enough for them. And take a look at your breakdown and at the events in your life and see what was the meaning that you put in there. Because if you discover that meaning, and you'll notice how the reason we repeat our actions is because we want to regenerate that meaning that keeps hurting us, that is not complete in there for us, that, you know, the law of integrity collides with the meaning that we put in there, and we're so attached to being right about that decision that we're just not willing to give it up. And that's what's causing not only repetition but an experience that could have been so much better. And that's what we're going that is what we're going to address in question 5. Is actually 4, in question 4. What is the action or the sentence that, if said at that moment, would have you be complete with the events? What is it? What is the one thing that if you would have said or done in that minute when the very first breakdown occurred for you, when that event happened, would make a huge difference? What I discovered for myself with my breakdown of contribution was, if I would go and say to my grandmother, "Grandma, I am not a thief and I'm not a liar. I've been playing out in the mud with the kids, with my friends, and I don't even know how to read the time, so why don't you just teach me about it? And also, that money in the coat, the money I've been taking, Mom put in there. So I'm not a thief and I'm not a liar. I'm not gonna declare in writing or in any other way any of this. You can punish me as much as you want." At the time I did not say that. I took it for granted. I took it as, this is who I am. And not only that, it shifted my entire future from there, but I was standing in the context of always being that person that has to prove, I'm not a thief, I'm not a liar, I'm not a thief, I'm not a liar, no matter where I go, in a business environment, in a relationship environment, in the family, in romance, everywhere. I will have to be the one that proves himself being not guilty. And of course it will end up guilty. Take a look for yourselves and see what is that one thing. And it can be an action, it can be a question, it can be a smile sometimes. But it always has to do with you. It does not have to do with the other person. It's not something that your mom should have done. It's not something that your ex-girlfriend or whatever started, whatever triggered this breakdown, this initial circumstance. Is something to do with you, a way that you could have reacted differently, in a way where the breakdown of today would not be aligned, with your declaration at the time. And the last question. What is the communication or the acknowledgement that, if made to you or others, will have you be engaged fully in the commitment of that time? So, being at the moment when that breakdown happened, what is the one acknowledgement that you could have done to the person that you had in your life at that moment that probably triggered, or to yourself, or to anyone else? What is the communication that, if you would deliver to that person, will have you engaged fully at the commitment, in the commitment at that moment? So for myself, in my breakdown of contribution, besides communicating to my grandmother whatever was in my mind, the one communication would be to tell my mom what happened and have her involved. For 30 years I haven't done that, and I regret it every second, because I made myself wrong in that second. I did not communicate with my mom. I told her after 30 years. She cried and said, "You stupido? It was for you. That money was for you. That time being outside playing was for you. Everything was for you. What are you talking about? For 30 years I've been hiding, thinking I'm wrong, and I should not bring this into light for others to see it." The second I've done it, the breakdown disappeared, just vaporized. So see what is for yourself, the one piece of communication that you can even reinstate right now. Not necessarily back in the past, but right now. What is that one phone call that you can make? What is that one acknowledgement, that one hug, that one kiss, that one letter? What is that one motion or emotion that you could put into place in such a way where you're fully engaged in your commitment? And you see how that breakdown is going to disappear. Well, before closing and ending this session, I want you to take a look and really notice how there's one little question that if we keep in the back of our mind all the time, when we take every single action in our life, if we are aligned with our commitments, there's no room for breakdowns. That doesn't mean the breakdowns will disappear. It only means that we will look at them as challenges, not stops, not blocks. They will not be blocks. So the question I ask myself is this action relevant to my commitment of being a contribution? Or is this action relevant to my commitment of being in love with my loved ones? Or is this, what I'm doing right now, aligned with my dream of being a coach of success? No matter what your commitment is, it can be for any actions. Is me eating late, or having an extra beer the night before a marathon, aligned with my commitment to finish that marathon? And you'll see how those actions are going to filter so naturally, so in such harmony with who we are in our commitments. Take a really, really generous chunk of time and go over those 5 questions and see what you discover for yourself. And mostly, start asking yourself everywhere you go in life and everything you do. Ask yourself. You can put it, on the back of a little business card and put it in your wallet, so it's always in plain sight. Ask yourself, is this what I'm doing right now aligned with who I want to be? And why not take the advice of Napoleon Hill and concentrate for a few minutes daily on the person who you want to become? And you'll see how things are going to start opening up. Resources are going to come your way. The right people will come in your life. The right circumstances will be attracted to you in a way where your business takes off. your personal life takes off, your health takes off. Thank you for being in session 8 with me. I really acknowledge you again for the courage and the boldness of keeping going through all these difficult steps. It does take something. Thank you for being here. Enjoy a beautiful day. I'll see you in session 9. Bye bye.